When you read this, you might notice a subtle shift in how you feel, as if a thought you hadn't fully formed is suddenly trying to surface. There is a possibility that someone significant from your past, or someone connected to your story in a quiet way, may attempt to reach out to you soon, not as fate delivering a fixed outcome, but as a moment where unresolved emotions and unfinished conversations begin to surface again. This person may carry something they have held back for a long time, an explanation, an apology, or simply the need to be honest about what was never said clearly between you. You may not have seen this moment coming in your day-to-day thinking, yet emotionally, parts of you may still recognize the weight of what was never fully closed. If they do reach out or appear in your space, it will not automatically change everything, but it may open a door to understanding what each of you has been carrying separately. What matters most is not prediction, but how you choose to respond if such a moment arrives. You are not required to assume destiny or certainty around it. You are only asked to stay grounded in your own awareness and boundaries. Life has a way of bringing people back into reflection when something remains unresolved, but it is always your choice, whether that becomes reconnection, closure, or simply understanding. For now, what exists is possibility, not inevitability, and your present moment remains yours to continue shaping with clarity and calm. What you don't know yet is that her journey toward you began long before tomorrow existed. There were signs, random thoughts, of someone you haven't met yet, sudden restlessness, a familiar voice from nowhere, an urge to check the door, even when no one was there. That wasn't paranoia. That was preparation. The universe does not warn without purpose. This visit is not impulsive, accidental, or casual. She didn't wake up today and choose you. She chose you long ago, but tomorrow is simply the day she finally arrives to collect the moment destiny promised her. For months now, she has been watching your life unfold from a distance, waiting for the exact second when you would finally be ready, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. She knows your struggles, your disappointments, the way you pretend to be fine when your heart is exhausted. She knows you deserve answers, closure, direction, something real, something honest, something that doesn't disappear the moment you reach for it. And tomorrow, she is bringing that with her, not as a threat, not as a warning, but as the inevitable truth you were always meant to face. And tomorrow, when the clock reaches a time you never expected, the doorbell will ring. Your world will go silent for a moment, and your soul will react faster than your mind, because deep inside, you've been waiting for her without realizing it. The woman coming to your house is not coming to take anything from you. She is coming to reveal why she was meant to find you now, at this exact turning point of your life. The only question left is, are you ready to hear what she came to say? Before anything else, you must know this. Tomorrow wasn't chosen randomly. It was chosen because something inside you finally shifted. Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will make you rethink every strange emotion you've been ignoring lately. That woman didn't just wake up and decide to come. She has been replaying this moment in her mind for weeks, rehearsing every word, every breath, every possible reaction you might have. She is terrified, not of you, but of the truth she carries. Because once it leaves her lips, there will be no going back, no pretending nothing happened, no returning to the version of life you lived before this message reached you. You may not recognize her instantly, yet your soul will. There is a history, a silent, unfinished connection between you two that was never spoken out loud. She knows the pain you've been hiding behind closed doors, the questions you've never dared to ask out loud, the loneliness you pretend doesn't exist. And tomorrow, she is arriving with the answers to those questions. She has seen your struggles from a distance, feeling the urge to intervene but waiting for the right moment. That moment is now, because the universe refuses to let you walk into the future carrying wounds that were never yours to bear. And here's the part that will shake you. She is not coming alone. She carries something symbolic, something physical, something that will instantly make your heartbeat change. Maybe it's a letter, a photograph, a forgotten object, or a truth someone else buried long ago. But whatever it is, it belongs to you, and it holds the missing piece to a story you never fully understood. Stay with me, because this detail matters. Her purpose isn't confrontation, revenge, or destruction. Her purpose is revelation. She is coming to return something fate owed you, something that was taken, hidden, or delayed for far too long. Tonight, you may feel restless without knowing why. Your intuition will be louder than usual, your senses sharper, your mind unable to settle. That's not anxiety. That's preparation. Your spirit already knows a turning point is approaching. And tomorrow, when you hear footsteps outside your door, or sense someone standing behind that curtain of silence, don't panic. That moment was written for you long before you learned how to dream. You were meant to hear her story, because it connects to yours more deeply than you can imagine. So stay with me until the end, because the universe is not sending her to test you. It is sending her to reveal why you were chosen, why you survived everything you did, and why destiny waited until now. When she arrives, you will understand that tomorrow isn't a warning, it's an awakening. There's something you need to understand now. The universe doesn't send a person this close to your doorstep unless your life is on the edge of transformation. This woman isn't traveling toward you because of curiosity, accident, or coincidence. She carries a truth powerful enough to rearrange your future, and she has spent countless nights deciding whether you were strong enough to hear it. The reason she chose tomorrow is because fate finally whispered, now. And deep in your soul, you already feel the shift. Your emotions have been heavier, your thoughts more intense, your dreams strangely vivid. Nothing about this moment is random. For months, she has been collecting courage, watching signs, replaying memories you don't even know you share. Someone once told her that revealing this truth might destroy everything, yet she believes the opposite. She believes it will set you free. She has seen the way life has tested you, the way people have walked in and out without explanation, the way you've had to rebuild yourself without a manual. She knows about the silent heartbreaks, the disappointments you never voiced, the promises that were made and never fulfilled. And tomorrow, she arrives carrying clarity where confusion once lived. Brace yourself, because truth rarely knocks gently. What will shock you the most is not her presence, it's the reason behind her arrival. There is a sense, when reading this, that something unresolved from the past is being framed as if it might resurface in a more concrete way. In real-life terms, this could simply be the possibility of someone reaching out on behalf of another person, or delivering information that was never properly passed along before. It might be a message, a reminder, or even clarification about something you once experienced or shared, though nothing about it is guaranteed or predetermined. If such a moment does happen, it would likely feel emotionally charged, not because it changes the fabric of your life instantly, but because it reconnects you with thoughts or questions you had set aside over time. It is natural for the mind to anticipate meaning in moments of uncertainty, especially when something feels unfinished or unclear from the past. However, it is important to stay grounded in what is known, rather than filling the gaps with certainty before anything actually occurs. A visit, a conversation, or the delivery of information from someone else would still remain a human interaction, shaped by choice, timing, and circumstance, not a fixed turning point written in advance. If anything arrives tomorrow, or in the near future, it will be something to receive, process, and understand at your own pace. without pressure to assign it immediate or absolute significance. Life tends to unfold in gradual layers of clarity, rather than sudden, complete revelations, and your response to any new information will matter more than the expectation built around it beforehand. And tomorrow, when your eyes meet hers, you will finally understand why the universe refused to let you move forward without hearing what she came to say. You need to hear this. Tonight, while you sleep unaware, she will already be on her way, carrying a storm of emotions she can no longer contain. Her journey isn't quiet or effortless. Every mile she travels feels like a battle between fear and destiny. She keeps glancing at the object she's bringing for you, wondering how you'll react once it's finally in your hands. She rehearses her first sentence over and over, praying she doesn't break down before she speaks, because she knows the truth she carries has the power to rewrite not just your tomorrow, but your entire understanding of who you are and why everything in your life unfolded the way it did. And what will shake you the most is this: someone warned her not to come. Someone begged her to stay silent, to disappear, to let your life continue the way it has. That means the truth she holds doesn't just reveal, it exposes. It threatens someone, somewhere, who fears what you might discover once you hear her story. That's why she didn't tell anyone where she's going. She travels in silence, guarding the truth like a fragile flame, terrified that if anyone interferes, destiny might collapse before it reaches your door. Yet, something stronger than fear keeps pushing her forward, an unexplainable pull toward you. Right now, she is remembering the moment she first learned about you, your name, your face, your history. It wasn't casual, it wasn't accidental. It hit her like lightning, sudden, undeniable, unforgettable. Since that day, she has carried a responsibility that doesn't belong to her, but she accepted it anyway, because fate chose her as the messenger. She's imagined the look in your eyes when you finally learn the truth. Shock first, disbelief second, and then a strange, overwhelming sense of recognition. Because deep down, a part of you has always known something was missing, hidden, unfinished. Tomorrow brings the missing piece. When morning comes, you might wake up feeling different, more alert, more aware, more connected to something invisible. That's not coincidence, that's alignment. The energy around you will shift, the atmosphere will feel heavier yet strangely comforting, as if the universe itself is preparing you. You may feel drawn to the door, or notice signs repeating around you, numbers, names, locations, memories, resurfacing without warning. These aren't random, they are reminders that tomorrow is a crossroads, and once she arrives, you can't return to the life you lived before. The timeline of your story is already bending toward revelation, so when the knock finally echoes through your home, don't rush, let the moment breathe. Look around you and remember this version of life, quiet, unquestioned, incomplete, because it won't exist much longer. On the other side of that closed door stands a woman with the truth the universe never trusted anyone else to deliver. And when you open it, destiny won't wait, it will walk in. There is something breathtaking about the final hours before destiny arrives. They feel ordinary on the surface, yet every second is secretly rearranging your life. As tomorrow approaches, she keeps replaying your imagined reaction in her mind, wondering whether you'll welcome her, question her, or freeze in disbelief. She isn't coming to disturb your peace. She's coming because your story demanded closure, clarity, and truth. She knows you've carried unanswered questions like invisible weight, pretending they didn't affect you, but tomorrow she will lift them off your shoulders with a single sentence. That moment will change everything you thought you knew about your past, present, and future. Even now, she holds the object that connects you both, a piece of evidence destiny refused to let disappear. It survived time, distance, and silence, just so it could reach you now. The moment she places it in your hands, Your heartbeat will change. Memories you never lived will suddenly feel familiar. Emotions you never understood will finally make sense. And you will realize this truth was never late. It arrived at the exact second your soul was strong enough to receive it. That's why tomorrow matters. It's not just a date. It's a turning point, written into your timeline, long before you learned how to hope. But here's the twist destiny didn't reveal until now. Your life was being guided toward her long before she decided to come. Every person who left, every opportunity that slipped away, every unanswered, Wyatt was quietly clearing space for this revelation. You were meant to meet her at a moment when your heart wasn't desperate, but ready. She doesn't come as a savior, a stranger, or a threat. She comes as the missing link, the hidden chapter, the bridge between who you were and who you are about to become. And tomorrow, when your eyes meet hers, the universe will finally exhale. Right now, she is terrified, not because she fears your reaction, but because she understands the responsibility of truth. She knows once she speaks, you won't be able to unhear it, ignore it, or run from it. She has carried this secret like a fragile crystal, protecting it through storms, doubts, and sleepless nights, because she believes you deserve answers, not silence. She believes your heart deserves freedom, not confusion. And tomorrow, for the first time, you will hear the full story, unfiltered, unhidden, unstoppable. The truth she brings is not a threat. It's liberation, waiting at your doorstep. So prepare yourself, not with fear, but with awareness. Pay attention to the air, the energy, the quiet signs that follow you throughout the day. Tomorrow, when the doorbell rings, time will slow, and instinct, not logic, will guide you. There are times when the mind tries to turn uncertainty into a story with clear direction, especially when feelings about someone are still unresolved. It can start to feel like everything is pointing toward an eventual reconnection, as if timing alone will decide when or how two lives might cross again. In reality, what usually brings people back into each other's orbit is much more ordinary. A message sent after reflection, a mutual decision to talk, or a chance encounter that only becomes meaningful if both sides are open to it. Nothing about that process is predetermined or guaranteed, and it doesn't arrive with certainty attached. When someone has had a strong emotional impact on you, it's natural to interpret memories and reminders as signals, but those interpretations often say more about your current emotional state than about any fixed outcome. If there is something unresolved between two people, it only becomes clear through honest communication, not through hidden signs or imagined scenarios. Sometimes people do reconnect and share what was never said before, but when that happens in a healthy way, it is grounded in clarity, consent, and mutual readiness, not in pressure, inevitability, or dramatic expectation. And just as often, people realize through time and distance that the connection has already taken its final shape, even if it still holds emotional weight. What she fears most isn't your reaction, it's the silence that comes afterward, the breath you take while deciding whether to let her in or shut destiny out. She has imagined every possible outcome, your disbelief, your tears, your numbness, your anger, your relief, but she keeps walking toward you anyway, because something greater than both of you insists that this chapter must unfold. Her purpose isn't to disrupt your life, it's to connect the missing threads, the ones fate carefully stitched in invisible places. And once she speaks, you will see that none of your pain was meaningless. Tomorrow, when morning light fills your home, pay attention to the subtle shift in the air. Objects may feel heavier, time may move slower, familiar sounds may suddenly seem distant. That's because energy recognizes what is coming before the human mind catches up. You may feel compelled to clean, rearrange, prepare, without knowing why. That instinct is not random, it's your soul making space for revelation. And somewhere at that exact moment, she will pause on her journey, sensing that you already feel her approaching. Two lives aligning, without a single word spoken. So when the knock finally arrives, don't assume it's ordinary. Take a second before opening the door. Breathe, observe, listen. This isn't just a visitor. It's the turning point your spirit has been waiting for. On the other side stands a woman, carrying the truth you were destined to receive. And once she steps across that threshold, your life will not continue. It will begin. As the final hours before tomorrow unfold, something unusual begins happening around you. Small, almost invisible shifts that feel too intentional to ignore. A flicker in the lights, a sudden chill in the air, a memory resurfacing out of nowhere. These are not coincidences. They are spiritual notifications. The universe is rearranging energy, preparing your space for the truth about to step across your threshold. And without realizing it, you've already started anticipating her arrival. Your thoughts drift toward possibilities you've never considered. Your senses sharpen. Your intuition grows louder. Destiny is tightening its grip, guiding you exactly where it needs you to stand when that knock echoes through your home. Meanwhile, she sits quietly somewhere unfamiliar, breathing deeply, gathering the courage she never thought she'd need. Her heart races with every passing second, because she knows tomorrow will change not only you, but her as well. She keeps touching the object she's bringing, afraid to lose it, afraid to reveal it, afraid of what it will do once it's in your possession. She whispers silent promises to herself, reminding her why she must follow through. She didn't choose this mission chose her, and the weight of that responsibility feels heavier tonight than ever before. Yet she moves forward, because she knows destiny punishes those who run from the truth. There's a detail no one ever told you. Her arrival didn't begin recently. It began the first time life broke you, the first time you felt abandoned, misunderstood, or betrayed. She was meant to appear after you survived what should have destroyed you. And now, she carries the missing explanation, the hidden context behind every heartbreak, every confusion, every unanswered question. She isn't coming to reopen old wounds. She's coming to show you why they existed. Tomorrow, when she finally speaks, you will realize life was never working against you. It was positioning you, slowly, painfully, intentionally, for this exact revelation. Tonight, if you lie awake unable to sleep, don't panic. That restlessness feels like a quiet inner signal, rather than something loud or dramatic. It shows up as a sense of anticipation you can't quite place, as if your thoughts keep returning to a person or moment without you forcing them there. There's a subtle pull toward something unresolved, something your mind keeps circling because it hasn't fully settled yet. At times it may feel like hearing echoes in silence, or noticing how certain names or memories surface unexpectedly during ordinary parts of your day. It isn't about fate controlling outcomes, but about your own awareness becoming sharper, noticing what you may have set aside or postponed emotionally. Intuition often works like that, not as a prediction of events, but as a quiet awareness that something within you is ready to be understood more deeply. In that space, anticipation builds, not from certainty, but from curiosity about what clarity might look like when it arrives. You start paying attention to your reactions, your thoughts, and the emotional weight certain connections still carry. Instead of rushing toward conclusions, there is a growing recognition that some feelings take time to fully make sense of. The restlessness becomes less of a warning and more of an invitation to be present with what you feel, without needing to define it too quickly or assign it meaning before it naturally reveals itself through time and experience. In that sense, What you're feeling is less about prediction and more about emotional readiness beginning to surface, reminding you that understanding often arrives gradually, not all at once, and usually in ways that feel simple rather than dramatic. The woman coming to your house tomorrow is not a visitor, she is the revelation your story has been waiting for. There is a moment, right before destiny arrives, when time feels like it's holding its breath, waiting for you to notice. That moment has already begun. You may feel it in the way your heartbeat changes for no reason, or how familiar surroundings suddenly feel unreal, like a stage preparing for its final scene. The air around you carries a kind of awareness, a quiet pressure, a subtle electricity that refuses to let you settle, because tomorrow, the truth you were never meant to search for, is finally coming to find you. And once it enters your life, it won't leave quietly. It will demand recognition, acceptance, transformation. While you go about your routine, unaware of how close everything is to shifting, she sits alone, staring out a window, reflecting on the promise she made, to deliver the truth, no matter how heavy it feels. She isn't running anymore. She isn't hesitating. She has already accepted that her life will also change the moment she sees your face. She knows you deserve answers, not fragments, and that's why she refuses to delay even another second. The object she carries, the one tied to your story, rests safely in her possession, wrapped carefully, as if it holds an entire universe. Because in a way, it does. There was a time when she believed someone else would reveal this truth, that fate would send another messenger. But destiny chose her, and now she understands why. She witnessed what others overlooked. She protected what others discarded. She carried a burden that wasn't hers, because she knew one day it would become your freedom. Every sleepless night, every doubt, every emotional storm led her to this moment. And tomorrow, when she stands at your door, the universe will finally reward her courage, and yours. Because without knowing it, you've been waiting too, hoping life would eventually explain itself. Tonight, you may sense invisible eyes watching over you, not threatening, just observing, ensuring nothing interferes before the truth arrives. You might notice repeated signs, symbols, names, or moments that feel intentional. Don't ignore them. Lately, life has probably felt different in ways you can't fully explain. Some moments feel peaceful, while others leave you restless, as if something important is slowly finding its way toward you. But that feeling is not meant to scare you. It's a reminder that growth often arrives quietly before it becomes visible. Sometimes the universe prepares us long before the moment we have been waiting for finally appears. That's why your heart feels aware, even when your mind still has questions. There is no need to rush your story or force answers before their time. The right people, the right opportunities, and the right changes always arrive when we are emotionally ready to receive them. So if tomorrow feels heavier or strangely emotional, don't mistake that feeling for fear. Pause, breathe, and trust yourself enough to move forward calmly. Not every silence means something is wrong. Sometimes silence is simply life preparing a new chapter. And when the person meant to cross your path finally does, their presence won't bring confusion or chaos. It will bring clarity, comfort, and a sense of understanding that feels natural. They won't change who you are overnight, but they may help you see strengths, dreams, and pieces of yourself you forgot were there. One day, you'll look back at the delays, heartbreaks, and uncertain moments and realize they were shaping you into the person you needed to become for this next chapter